about 3 cups of ground pork. It has a pretty high fat content, as you can see. You might want to go to your butcher and just ask them to grind up a pork shoulder. That would be really good. But in Taiwan, they actually really prefer chunks of fat, so I have no problem finding ground pork with enough fat content in it to sort of resemble Italian sausage. The whole thing we're making today about these pork burgers is we kind of wanted to resemble the flavors that you would find in Italian sausage, but without using Italian sausage. So, and I'm mostly doing this because you cannot get Italian sausage in Taiwan anywhere, and I thought it would also be fun. So I'm gonna start off with a half a teaspoon of pepperoncino. Start with a half a tablespoon of, this is just like an Italian dry seasoning blend. You know, you can find those anywhere. Black pepper is really nice in this, so I'm gonna go for 1 teaspoon of ground black pepper. I'm gonna do 1 teaspoon of salt. And I'm gonna do a half a teaspoon, actually let's make it 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. Garlic powder, not garlic salt, because if you use garlic salt and then you also add salt, it's just going to be way too salty. So I'm going to give this a mix, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a tiny piece and put it in the frying pan and taste it, and I'm going to adjust the seasoning. So for example, if I find it's not salty enough, I'll add more salt, and so on. So I'm going to do that, and I will be back. And I also wanted to mention that if you want, you can add fennel seeds, maybe like a half a teaspoon, and that would be even more like Italian pork sausage, but I don't really like fennel seeds, so I'm not gonna add it in. Okay, so I just got the patties shaped. It made 6 really nice size patties in total. I actually just went and froze the other 4, and I'll have that for, you know, weeknight meals and all that kind of jazz. So now what I'm gonna do with these 2 is I'm just gonna put them in the refrigerator. I checked for seasoning. It was, in my opinion, it was perfect. It really resembles a spicy pork sausage. If you don't like the spicy and you like the sweet pork sausage, just don't add the chili flakes. Okay, so this is going in the refrigerator, and meanwhile I'm gonna prep the So I have 6 baking potatoes, just like russet is good. And I'm just gonna cut it in half. And then what I'm gonna do is carefully make sure that it's stable. Cut this in 3s. Okay, like that. And then I'm just gonna look at the size that I want and cut it into fry shape. I don't want them like too thin because I'm gonna be baking them, but I do want them similar to French fry shape. Okay, and that's basically it. So I'm gonna get that done. Okay, so the next step is have your oven at 220 Celsius. And that's a very nice and hot oven. What we're gonna do is just spread these out, nice and simple. We're gonna dribble some olive oil over all of them. Good amount, probably about 3 tablespoons. And some nice, fresh, cracked black pepper. We're gonna keep these pretty simple. And then I like to use nice sea salt when I make French fries or any kind of root vegetables in the oven. It's pretty strong, so you don't need too much. I just like the big chunks. I think it's really nice. And I'm also gonna put some garlic powder. This is optional. I just like the extra flavor. I'm not gonna go too crazy, just good amounts. Okay. And then I have some beautiful fresh thyme. So I'm just gonna pull it right off the leaves, keep it really easy. And then the next thing is to just mix it up with your hands, and then once you're finished with that, you're gonna place it into the oven, and you are going to flip them every so often. When one side is brown, flip it, let the other side get brown. You really want one thin layer, one layer of fries. I don't have 2 sheet trays, so I'm just gonna have to deal with this. So I'm just gonna mix this up. Okay, and now for the delicious topping on the pork burgers. So I just made my own homemade garlic mayonnaise. I would highly recommend making your own mayonnaise if you can. I actually have a recipe for this mayonnaise on my channel. It's the very first recipe that I ever made on YouTube. It is perfect every time. I've never changed a single thing about this mayonnaise. It's a lot easier than people think. Just use organic eggs and you're good to go. I actually do half olive oil, half sunflower oil to make it a little bit healthier. Okay, so I have about a half a cup of this fresh mayonnaise here. Because there's garlic in it, I'm not going to do anything, but if you're using jarred mayonnaise, mince 1 small clove of garlic very finely and add it to this. Okay, so now I'm going to add about 1.5 tablespoons of chopped sun-dried tomatoes, 1 tablespoon of fresh sweet Italian basil, some ground black pepper, and then for just a little extra something special, I'm going to add some tomato paste. Not a lot, just about 1 teaspoon of tomato paste. Mine was frozen, so I'm having a hard time getting it out here. And that's just going to give it a little bit of extra flavor. And I'm going to give this all a mix, and this is going to be really delicious. And it's even more delicious because, like I said, it's homemade. And I don't need to add any salt because my mayonnaise that I made was perfectly salted, so I just feel like it would be too much. But if you don't think your mayonnaise is salty enough, go ahead and add some. So I'm going to give this a taste. It is delicious. And I'm going to set it aside. Okay, so it's been about 35 minutes, and as you can see, it's really getting nice and crispy on this side. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip them, and I'm going to get the other side going. I don't really flip them like the right way, I kind of just... So I'm sure you can tell that they're not fully cooked, and they're not sounding crispy, and that's okay because we're going to make them crispy. The thing about oven French fries is they do take a little while to make. It's a bit of work, but it's worth it. It's healthier. If you want to speed up the process, you might want to experiment a little bit and try boiling them first in water and then like draining the water and getting them nice and dry and then putting them in the oven, and that would probably be faster, and I think that they would come out crispy. But I just didn't feel like doing that extra step, and I had to do other things anyway, so this just works out perfectly for me. Okay, so I'm gonna put these back in, and I'm gonna try to get them nice and crispy. But as you, like, they're cooked now, you see? They're just not crispy, so crank up that heat. I'm gonna crank it up about 475. Get it nice and hot. It's going back in the oven, and I'll see you back. Okay, we're just gonna do a really nice, simple salad. So all I got in here is lettuce, very thinly sliced onion, cherry tomatoes, and some olives of your choice. And then I have these marinated artichoke hearts. I'm going to use the oil from them. Not a lot, just about a teaspoon. Okay. Very, very simple salad. I like black pepper on my salad. Some people don't like it. I'm going to put a little bit of salt, not too much. These nice, beautiful artichoke hearts that are marinated. Maybe just 3 is good. Some fresh lemon juice. So it's really just an olive oil, lemon juice, vinaigrette, and that's it. Very simple. A little bit of Parmesan cheese. And some baby sprouts. If you want, you could do some fresh herbs, and that is a beautiful, very simple Italian style salad. Okay, so it's been about 15 minutes since I last took them out, and as you can see, they're getting there. So the last thing that you need to do with this recipe is top it with some Parmesan cheese. You could either do like shaved, or like me, I'm just doing, you know, like powdered Parmesan cheese. Nice and easy, okay? And this is gonna make it so yummy. Really go to town, all right? Don't be shy. Okay. And then of course you give it, let me grab this so I don't burn myself. You're gonna give it one last shuffle. And depending on, see, I have a pretty weak oven and it also bakes things unevenly. But your oven probably wouldn't have the same amount of problems as mine, but I need to like rotate and it's just kind of a pain in the ass. But that's okay. Okay, so spread them back out, of course. And you could put the broiler on at this point. I don't have a broiler with my oven. You know, Taiwanese people don't really use ovens when they cook. They mostly use stovetop. So it's really not, pretty much no apartments, unless it's like new, modern, and like for rich people, really. No apartments in Taiwan actually even have ovens in their apartment. Dominic and I bought ours and we splurged a bit because we knew that we would use it and we're gonna sell it when we leave. Okay, so these go back in for about 15 more minutes until they're nice and crispy, and then they're finally done. Okay, I got a little olive oil in the pan. I got it nice and hot, and I'm gonna add my delicious pork burger. And now, of course, with the pork burger, you really want to cook this all the way through. It's not like and get it nice and crispy on this side, and then flip it. So I'll show you the next. Okay, time to flip. It's been about 4 minutes. I'm going to cover it to let it cook faster for another 4 minutes about. Okay, it is time for the best part, plating. Okay, so we're gonna, I toasted the bun, of course. We're gonna put this on both sides. A lemon mayonnaise would be very good with the Parmesan Thyme French fries as well. Okay, some nice soft lettuce. The juicy, delicious burger. Let's see, let's do some onion. Not too much. I don't like too much raw onion. Some fresh tomato. Some greens. All right. And the amazing looking oven baked Parmesan Thyme French fries. This is the perfect meal, if you ask me. And there you have it, guys.